Hello. We live in the age of influence, of propaganda, advertising, 24-hour news, podcasts, lots and lots of different voices all trying to convince us of their point of view, draw us over onto their side of the argument, inform us or misinform us, so that we are convinced that they're right and everyone else is wrong, to get us to give them our vote or buy their product or dislike the people that they're pointing their finger at and enter into their realm of discrimination. So in order to cope with all this, we need critical thinking skills, and we're going to talk about what critical thinking is, what's in the critical thinking toolbox to help us deal sensibly and rationally with the questions. Questions, of course, are what, why, who, where, when, and how. And we can ask those questions about what somebody's saying, who's saying it, where they're saying it, how they're saying it, why they're saying it. We want to know why they're saying it, because that then helps us to understand whether or not we should take any notice of it, whether or not it's trying to unfairly influence us or lead us astray. So what do we have in our critical thinking toolbox? Well, the one that I start off with comes from the 13th century and a little town in Surrey called Occam, and there was a monk called William of Occam, and he introduced the idea of Occam's razor. And that's the idea that the simplest thing is probably, given competing possibilities, the one that's right, the explanation that requires the least number of assumptions, the least complication. It's likely to be the right answer, not always, but it's a good guide. Okay, so there's our number one tool. Our number two tool is the question, who's benefiting? Cui bono. And that's got a sort of subset, an extra bit of tool, which is follow the money, because quite often somebody's trying to influence you because they have a financial interest in you buying their product, you voting for them, you supporting their policies. In order to get us to believe what they're saying, they might choose their words very carefully in a way that actually obfuscates the meaning. And there's the famous civil servant, Robert Armstrong, who said, instead of saying, yes, the government was lying, he said, well, we were being economical with the truth. Oh, economical, that's a good thing. That must be all right then. If you're economical with the truth, it means you're being very careful. No, it doesn't mean that at all, obviously. Another thing that you have to be watching out for is when they tell you the things that they don't really want you to pay any attention to. And there are two ways of trying to avoid you paying attention to things they have to tell you but aren't really in their interest. And that is distraction, with the famous ploy of throwing a dead cat on the table when the conversation is straying into areas they don't really want you to be exploring. They throw a dead cat in and then you'll talk about the dead cat. Where did that come from? That's strange. I haven't seen a dead cat today before. And there you are, distracted. And the other thing that they can do is find a good time to bury bad news. End of the parliamentary session on a Friday when everybody's going home for the weekend. Better still when everybody's going on a recess. Then unfortunately also the cynical ploy of there's a big disaster, an air crash or a flood or something, so the newspaper headlines are going to be full of that. This is a good moment for us to publish that report that we didn't really want people to be paying any attention to, or that policy document that we don't feel very comfortable about, but we have to get it out there. Let's do it on a day when it's not going to get any news attention. We also have to watch out when people say things for what's their motivation. And the famous Mandy Rice Davis in court, when somebody said, I never met her, I never slept with her. And she said, well, he would say that, wouldn't he? So, if there's self-interest that dents the credibility of what you're saying, then you need to be aware of that. And the other tool that I would just finish off my list with is the tool of negative space. And as artists, we might draw a picture with two trees. In addition to the two trees, there's a third element, which is the negative space between them. And that might actually be what our picture's all about. Sherlock Holmes, the detective who lived at 223B Baker Street, solved a crime by noticing that when the criminal broke in, the dog that was on guard didn't bark. And Sherlock Holmes deduced that the dog must have known the criminal. The dog that didn't bark, the negative space, the thing you're not being told. And there you are, something else to look out for in your critical thinking toolbox. And that's all we've got time for today. Bye-bye.